The Chilliwack Creative Commission is gratefully located on the traditional territory of the Stolo people. Good afternoon. Welcome to Studio C in Chilliwack, BC.
Yeah!
Feels so good. It's Creative Third Thursday. So first off, I want to thank Darren Blakeborough for stepping up last month, and covering for me because I was away. And so big thanks to Darren, who's in the audience today. Nice work, Darren. If you want to be in our studio audience, you at home, the doors open at 4:30 and our recording begins at 5 on the third Thursday of the month, mostly at Cowork, Chilliwack, with the occasional field trip, and tickets are free. So thank you to the studio audience. I won't be overusing that, but you know, sometimes it's just appropriate to make a little noise in the background. Cheers me up, cheers you up, it's all good. So Creative Third Thursdays is best taken in live and in person, and we want to thank you at home for watching on YouTube. And please give us a like to maybe make the algorithm give you more of our Creative Third Thursdays. Helps us build a community of creative people starting here in Chilliwack, BC. And we all really appreciate when people share what we're up to. So, like we all, I mean, when I say we all, everybody in the room, they're all creative people. You all like it when people share your stuff, right? So when people share our Creative Third Thursdays on YouTube, please use the hashtag Creative Chilliwack. And then if you want to find any more information about what's going on, hey, what's the next Creative Third Thursday doing? Use that hashtag. It'll help you find something. It'll probably be a link to the Eventbrite ticket or something like that. So Creative Third Thursdays are the passion of a group of volunteers known as the Chilliwack Creative Commission. The Chilliwack Creative Commission is a committee of the Chilliwack Economic Partners Corporation. And if you'd like more information about the Creative Commission, go to businessinchilliwack.com. We are making a YouTube video today at the amazing Studio C in Chilliwack, BC, and we really appreciate it. So let's say thank you to our host, Tim McAlpine, and his crew. So did you know Tim McAlpine is also the producer of a famous podcast that is recorded right here. It's the Bigger Than Me podcast with Aaron Pete, recorded in the corner studio over there. There. And guess who his last guest was? Brent Butt from Corner Gas. Corner studio, Corner Gas. Well, okay, it wasn't all that funny, was it? Okay. Nice, very nice. Thank you. I know where my humor is going. The podcast is recorded right over there anyway. I want to skip ahead here. Hang on, I'll come in again. No. On the screen are members of the Chilliwack Creative Commission. I'm Geoff Edwards, and it's great to have you here today, and it's great to be back hosting Creative Third Thursday. I was away making movies. I was away acting in movies. That's why I wasn't able to be here the last couple of times. So, speaking of film and movies, we want to remind you that at the Creative Commission, we are really committed to the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. And, yeah. It's getting close. That'll be 1 month from today. It runs November 17th to 19th. Hotels are booking up. Viewers are getting excited. This year, SIF will feature 81 films over 3 days. Some highlights, the BC premiere of a feature Indigenous documentary called Boil Alert. It's an important doc about the struggle to get clean water for Indigenous communities. And its director is flying in for a Q&A. There's also a Fraser Valley Films and Indigenous Stories block, short films with Q&As on the Saturday. The festival's first Pride Shorts screening with shorts LGBTQIA plus films and artists sharing their stories. Complete schedule for the seventh edition of the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival is now available, and tickets can be found by visiting sif.ca. And remember, there's always a cool refreshment waiting for you at Creative Third Thursdays. It's kind of a tradition around here. On with our show.
Our guest today embarked on a film career starting in the 1990s.
The first films he directed were From Beyond and The Terrible Old Man, based on H.P. Lovecraft stories. Currently, the Internet Movie Database indicates that he is best known for Mortal Kombat Legacy, The Chateau Moreau, and The Rock and Roll Kid. His latest film project is called Welcome to Willville, a documentary series. He's also optioned a book by a local author, and he and his wife are turning that into a screenplay. Please welcome longtime Chilliwack creative, Bob Fugger.
Good to see you, man. I see you got the memo about the shirt.
Oh yeah, you gotta wear
When Bob first came in, I thought, oh no, but at least mine's blue and yours is black. Yeah.
That's how you can tell us apart.
Okay, that photograph, we got to talk about that. How did a guy from Chilliwack end up directing Doc from Back to the Future? That's an interesting
the long story or the short story?
We want the story.
Well, over my career, I've met a number of people, and a couple of the guys that I kept in touch with and kept doing projects with kept me in mind. And then one day I got a phone call that they had a movie that they wanted to do in California. And I said, let me think about it. No, I didn't. I said, yeah, I'm coming. So went down to California, and it kind of escalated as far as getting talent on board. So there was Marla Sokoloff and Barry Watson were in the movie, and Amanda Righetti was already in the movie, and then one of the producers lived next door to Christopher Lloyd's agent, and so talked really nicely to him, and blah blah blah. And then one day he shows up on set, and it was.
How did you feel about that when you said, "Welcome to the set"?
Oh, I was kind of a fanboy because he was in Star Trek 2. Help me out, Matt.
Star Trek 2.
Wrong star.
No. Anyway, so I knew him from there and other films, and so it was. But he was a very personal guy. I was a bit starry-eyed with him, but nice enough guy, nicest guy on the whole production.
Cool. So let's talk about the career moves that you made that can inform viewers that want to advance their careers to lofty heights like that. So we met in 1997, I think it was, and you had just you had attended NAIT at that point.
Yeah.
Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. How formative was that your time there to what you're moving?
Okay, so I went to NAIT. I've always wanted to. I had these visions in my head when I was like 18 or 19. Some I won't share, but others will. They were. I just had pictures or things that I saw that I wanted to share with people, and so I bought a camera, and then that just kind of snowballed. I ended up going to photography school at NAIT as a commercial photographer. That was 2 years of training, and then had a studio in Edmonton for a couple of years, and then moved back to Chilliwack, and slowly built a business here. Mm-hmm. And then as far as what NAIT gave me, it gave me outdated skills to some degree because it was all how to process black and white and color film and make prints and edit on big machines and stuff like that. So there was no computers back in those days. It was all hands-on, organic stuff. But what it did give me was 2 years of just being able to play and I don't want to say hone my craft, but kind of hone my craft. But
we'll get it a start.
Just to understand what things are like and how to be a visual, just expand my visual skills, I guess.
And you were in a rock band at that time too.
The
band was called The Darkest of the Hillside Thickets. Has anybody ever heard of that band?
Yes.
Yes. So Bob is the bass player.
Yes.
I don't know, is or was?
Was.
No longer playing with them, but.
No, it's been a while.
You've got quite a collection of guitars and stuff. So I wanted to touch on the fact that you're still writing and recording music, right?
It's for my own.
Just for fun.
Yeah, or maybe a song for my wife.
Well, as creative people, we all have different skills that we exercise that I think they all sort of play with one another, and I'm a strong believer in having a diverse skill set. You never know when that might come in handy, right?
That's true.
Yeah. And Dungeons and Dragons. I remember that being a thing around when I met you around that time. And I never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I have a granddaughter now who has a regular Sunday meeting, long, hours-long meeting with some friends online, and they play it. And we were talking about it, and I'm thinking to myself, it sounds like Dungeons and Dragons is kind of a thing that creative people can sort of find some jolly in, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I've been playing it since I was, grade 5 or whatever, and
Since grade 5?
Yeah, wow. Like at least 20 years. So, thank you. So
Great studio audience.
But I think when I connect, say, Dungeons and Dragons to taking pictures to making films, it's always been sort of a storytelling thing for me, because I was always the dungeon master. I wanted to control everything. But it was also just, I think, an expression of what I like to do. I like to build a world or tell a story and have people react to it. So whether it's, photography, film.
So when did you know that? So obviously that was the start of you going, I want to be in control of this. I want to help tell this story. So when did you sort of put that together and go, I want to be a film director?
It was, so when I was doing commercial photography, and then that led into customers wanting videos. So that was in the days just as digital started to come online. And then now that I have the stuff, I decided to make a short film, because I had a story, an H.P. Lovecraft story in my head the longest time, and decided now I'll do it.
That was From Beyond.
From Beyond, yeah.
Yeah, recorded in a garage on River Road in Chilliwack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some pals.
With some pals.
Yeah.
I was there.
You were?
Yeah. So what are some of the moves that you've made, looking back on your career, where you can go, those choices that I made really helped me to achieve my goals? What can you point to?
Yeah. I think, I'm not going to say it just coasted along, but it was basically I just did what I wanted to do or I felt compelled to do, and then I was able to find a place for that to fit and move things along. I know that might sound vague, but so for instance, did my first short film, From Beyond. It was in the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival in Portland, Oregon. Everybody loved it. Then I thought, I want to do another one. The actor in that movie knew a buddy that was a burgeoning writer, so we got introduced, and we talked about another project. So he wrote The Terrible Old Man, which is another H.P. Lovecraft film. So I did that one, and then kind of naively, I just contacted CBC and sent it in, and they bought it. They gave me like whatever it was, $13,000 or something, and they put it on TV, and then that was kind of it. Then after that, I started to meet people in the film business and started to make connections, and then I was either developing my own projects or working as a director or a camera operator for other projects, documentaries and things like that. So it was sort of I just kept following what I wanted to do, and it just kind of led me along.
There's nothing wrong with naively making a phone call. I've seen so many people be successful at naively making phone calls, so that's good.
I often say that I ask a lot of stupid questions, and that's often what if I meet someone or have a meeting or whatever, I usually preface the meeting with, I'm going to ask a lot of stupid questions, because I just want to ask not that they're stupid, it's just more exploratory, and not being afraid to just ask the question, find out what the what the deeper meaning or what the opportunities are. So,
well, I mean, just as an aside, I mean, we worked on that film, Clean Fight, and I got my copy of it, and I looked at it. Hey, what's APTN? Aboriginal People's Television Network. That's interesting. And I naively made a phone call that ended up with a long career working with that network. So don't be shy about making those naive phone calls. They sometimes can pay off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for a while now, you've been also, we used it in the marketing for this event, you've been under the heading of marketing strategist. So is that something that's delayed your film career, or is that a strategy?
I do everything for a reason, Geoff. See, no. So life happens and things happen. So my film career was I wasn't like on top of the world, but I was certainly heading that way. But there were a couple of issues. One was which I lived in Canada. My wife lived in California. I actually met her on the film that I shot down there, and then we got married, but we still lived in 2 different countries, and there was a lot of flights, and that caused a lot of, it was just stressful. And then my brother.
Hard to commit to a project then.
Well, no, because I had the company I was working with had offices in Santa Monica, so I would go to be here with my kids, go see my wife, drive down to Santa Monica for a few days, go back home, see my wife, fly back up, see the kids. What everybody else does, standard. But that was not that it was a strain, but it was just a pain. And then my brother passed away suddenly, and so then we decided, why are we spending all this time apart? And so moved to Canada, go back to doing sort of marketing and strategy for companies, which is in itself as kind of a storytelling. So I'm not too far away from what I usually do. It's just not as amazing. And then, so that's just allowed me to kind of be creative in a different way and then percolate about the film business. The film business is tough only in that there's long stretches where you're not doing anything. I mean, you're doing stuff, but you're not getting any reward for it. You're pitching ideas and you're developing this or shooting that, and then
or auditioning,
or whatever. So it can be a bit draining. But this time around, working with my wife and it's nice to have that partnership where we work together, bounce ideas off each other. The idea is that do it on our own terms, right? So now we just finished a documentary called Welcome to Willville, which is about our son who has Down syndrome. And that was through Telus Fund. And so that's kind of opened the door for us. And we have a bunch of projects that we're developing right now, and we're writing a script together. And so it's just sort of a nice, it's a creative thing to do as a couple, but it's also something we're doing on our own. We like to do it. We're going to just do it and then see what happens. So
yeah, that was the what do you call that? We had this. I asked you this question the other day. What do you call it when you put all those sticky notes on the wall and you're building the story? And this piece goes here. It's like that was the shot in the intro video.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So how does the marketing, getting back to the marketing strategy, how has that helped you with your marketing your own abilities and that sort of thing? Can you share any strategies for doing that might be useful to our viewers?
Ironically enough, it's kind of like how the cobbler's kids don't have very good shoes.
Okay.
Right? Like I can tell other people what they need to do for their business, but I have no idea what to do for myself.
Well, I wouldn't say you had no idea.
Not no idea, but
yeah.
I don't follow the same processes that I would. You need this, this, and this, and this before you open your mouth. And I'm just going to go open my mouth. So,
or make that naive phone call.
Or make the naive phone call.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, just to some degree, it's there. But I think my passion is not necessarily executing it on my own behalf, which is kind of weird, because I'm busy doing the other stuff, right? Which is what I really like. So now, fortunately, the Willville documentary was 4 little shorts, and but that was marketed, that was taken care of, right? So
you just had to shoot it and edit it and turn it into a story, right?
Blah blah blah. Yeah, but
blah blah blah. What was the blah blah blah?
Everything, cost reports and all that kind of crap. But it was they were handling that piece of it, and other than sharing it on social media, or, telling everybody to watch it.
Yeah. So you mentioned you got other projects. I mean, I don't want you to tell in public what other projects you've got underway, but I do want to sort of allude to where do you see yourself heading in. What can you say about what you're working on?
It's funny because I haven't really thought farther than the concept, and what I mean by that is, will we be producing it? Will I be directing it, or will it be just handed over for a fee or whatever? Right? Like I know I want to do stuff, but I think the creative process for me doesn't necessarily mean it has to. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I just want to be part of the creative process, and if we conceive the ideas and develop the ideas and bring them completely to fruition, that's great. But as long as somebody brings it to fruition, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of projects in the past that have just made it as far as, you put 6 months of work into it, you write a pilot script, you do all this work, you get people involved, and then nah, we're not interested. Oh, okay, well, pick something else and try again. So it just kind of wears you out. So I got, I don't know, 2 or 3 things that were percolating. Mm-hmm. Some are loftier than others, and some are more reasonable than others. So,
do you sort of see yourself somewhere in, say, like 5 years from now? Do you sort of? I mean, some people I call it setting your sail and just going. That's the direction. That's what I see myself doing. Do you have a vision of where you would be, say, in the next 3 to 5 years?
Other than like a inexpensive home in Italy that we've been Googling. You can get good deals in Italy, but that may not happen. But I just want to. I think when I think about it honestly, I just want to be doing creative things and feeling good about it. So if I was going to pick, if I could be in 5 years or 3 years, doing a project a year for 4 to 6 months or whatever it is, and then spend the rest of the time cleaning up after the dogs, that'd be fine by me. But
just a vision came to me about your dogs.
Yeah, that's for a whole other episode.
Okay. Bob, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for coming down and joining us. I know everyone in the audience wishes you all the best for your future projects, and we hope you'll come back and talk to us again when next time you're directing somebody like Christopher Lloyd or Taylor Negron, or the other stars of that show. Mm-hmm. But Bob Fugger, everybody. So you guys, this is where you come in. Remember to like and share. Use the hashtag Creative Chilliwack. Let's get the word out and build this community of creative people starting in Chilliwack, BC. The next Creative Third Thursday will be the third Thursday of November, right before the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. And we don't have anybody inked in for that yet, but we've got somebody in mind. So hope you'll all come back and join us again. So as we all like to say at the end of one of these things, cheers, everybody! Woo-hoo!